Hello everyone, this is Marwan. Today we are going to be talking about the useTransition hook. This hook is very useful as it handles some edge cases that could be happening because of the automatic state update patching by React. As you know, if we look here, especially in React 18, this has been introduced as well to be handling state updates that are happening within a promise or a timeout, which is actually nice, but sometimes it's not. And we're gonna see why. So, in order to have some control over this, React has gave us this hook, useTransition, which could be very useful as it's going to help us override the default behavior of state update patching. So you're wondering, why would I need to do that? I don't recall a scenario in which I did need to override this behavior, which is true, but in some edge cases you do actually need to override it. And this is one of these cases. So we have an input that we enter and value into, and then a list is populated based on the input value. And to mimic a heavy computation process, we are going to be having a 20k size list. So if we enter 1, we are going to be having 20k ones element, which is great. But it's not going to be so great if we try to enter 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've already entered it, but it's not being updated here properly. As you can see, if we try again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you notice, let me try one more time, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's waiting for the state update of the list to be done, and only then it updates the input, which is nonsense at this case. So that means if we look in the code in here, we have input that handles the change within this function, which sets the input value, computates the list, sets the list. So we have here two setters that do have a priority by default of 1. So these are grouped together and done at the same time to have only one render. But this doesn't make sense, and we need to have a non-blocking behavior for this part. First thing, we need to identify which code block takes the more time and is blocking the other part of the code. In this case, it's this part. So we can first of all import the useTransition and then initiate it is pending and start transition. Is pending could be used to identify if the transition has not been executed yet. So we have already said that this is the part of the code that is causing this buggy behavior for the input. So we can just quickly open up the start transition and wrap this inside of it. So as we said, this had a priority of 1, this had a priority of 1, but by wrapping this inside of this hook, we can assume that this has a priority of 1 still, but anything outside of the hook has a priority of 2, meaning this shall be updated first, in which we actually want. And we're going to see why in a second. So if we go back in here, refresh, and I'm going to try to enter 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 again, and I want you to pay focus towards the input behavior. So let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So see, it's getting updated, and only after 3 or 4 more seconds the list is getting populated, which means that the state update of this is no longer correlated with the state update of the list, which is actually the exact behavior that we want in this case. Let's go back to this code. We have seen that this heavy computation could be wrapped with this one to avoid blocking the rest. But there is some other cases in which you could use that. You could have like a list one that retrieves data in 3 seconds. List 2 retrieves data in 10 seconds. So it wouldn't make sense to block the rendering of list 1 until list 2 has been retrieved properly. So this is some other case in which you could be using the useTransition hook, and then wrap the most consuming block of code to be wrapped with the start transition hook, and by that you can have more control over your code and manage the prioritization of state updates. So here we have, this is a maximum code stack because this is a 20k list. So that was it for this video, the useTransition hook. I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. See you later. Have a good day.